Alright, you guys, so I'm going to be doing a quick mukbang. I'm going to do like my labor, birth story, whatever. Baby's right there. I don't know if you can see him. He is awake, so I'm not sure if he's going to let me go through the entire story, but I'm going to do my best. He can't see the TV, but he can definitely hear it. And this is super wide. They do a lot of reading and letters and stuff like that, so I want to get him exposed to that as early as I can. I'm not really a fan of like the TV doing it. I want to do most of the teaching, but I wanted to put that on while I made this video, something educational he can listen to. I'm just going to do a turkey and cheddar sub from Walmart. It was on sale, $3.59, which means it's probably old, but it's okay. All right. I'm hoping you guys can hear me, because the TV is up pretty loud, and I also have some laundry going. All right, so my story. So I went to my OBGYN on the 19th of September, and I went around 1 p.m. And when I went, my OBGYN doctor, she asked me if I wanted her to strip my membrane, or have a membrane sweep or whatever. And I was like, what is that? And she was like, basically to get things going. I wasn't due until 7 days later, but I was like, you know what? All right, let's go ahead and get it done. I was already on leave at that time because I had thought I was going to be, I thought I was giving birth like a week before that, but it was a false alarm. So I was already on leave. Hold on, you guys. All right. So I was already on leave because I had a false alarm. And so I was like, you know what? Might as well go ahead and get things going. I'm already out of work. I have everything ready to go. So let's go ahead. I didn't know it was going to be that quickly when she did that. So anyways, I went in. She did a cervix check. I was already 4 centimeters dilated. Then she did the membrane sweep, which didn't hurt at all. I had been like in different groups on Facebook and heard a lot of people say it hurts really bad. I didn't feel it. Then I went home. I didn't have anything ready. We didn't have our bags ready. Nothing. So I was like, okay, I need to start getting things ready. I thought I had a few days because she told me I had an appointment 3 days later. So this is a Thursday. 4 days later. So this was a Thursday. I had another appointment that Monday to do an ultrasound because I had lost so much weight. So they went to do an ultrasound, make sure baby was good. Oh, speaking of baby, he's up. Hold on. All right, you guys. Little one wanted to join us. Will you say hi, baby? All right. So I ended up coming home, trying to get some things ready. I thought I had until at least like that Monday, because when I left, she was like, okay, see you Monday to do the ultrasound. And I had an ultrasound because I was losing weight and they wanted to make sure everything was okay before I gave birth. So around midnight, basically that's Friday morning, so almost 12 hours later, I started having contractions. I didn't know it was contractions at the time. Hi, baby. I didn't know it was contractions at the time. It was just like some stomach and pelvic pain. I thought I just had to go poop. So I went to the bathroom and I pooped. And I was like, okay, we're good. Oh, you want a bottle? Let me go get him a bottle. You can do a mukbang, a bottle mukbang with me. Yes. All right. We are back. So this is kind of like a mom life. You get interrupted with what you're doing. but it's okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so what ended up happening was I started having some pain. Wasn't really bad, it was more like cramps and a little bit of pain in my pelvic area. I thought I had to use the restroom. I went to the bathroom. Almost like when you take a laxative, it was like that, but like milder. So I went to the restroom, I pooped, I was like, we're good. And then several minutes later, the same feeling or sensation came back. Went to the bathroom, I pooped again. This happened like 3 times, okay? And this is like midnight. All right, so at this time, I'm like, okay, it's happening every so often, and usually when you have like cramps or like stomach pain, it doesn't go away like that and come back consistently. So I decided to use an app and time my contractions, or to time when it was starting and ending and all of that, and I realized that it was pretty, like, it was a pattern. And I'm like, okay, like poop cramps aren't going to happen in a pattern like that. So I was like, okay, now it's time to wake up my husband, because I didn't want to wake him up earlier than that if I wasn't 100% sure what was going on. So anyways, I woke him up and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm having contractions or not. I was like, but this is the situation. I think it'd be best if we went down to the hospital anyways. All right, so he gets up. At this point, it's around like 1 something. And I end up having to pack our hospital bag. I had maybe like 2 or 3 things in there, but like I was not ready to go because I'm a procrastinator. So here it is, Friday, the morning of the 20th, around 1 something in the morning, and I'm throwing stuff together. So I'm putting a robe, I'm putting everything. I'll probably do a video of like what I put in my hospital bag. So as we're getting stuff together, we had a dog and a cat. So like my husband, you know, we're gonna be gone for, 2 days or whatever. So he's like trying to get everything situated with the dog and the cat. As far as like leaving food, we were coming back. He was gonna be coming back throughout the 3 days, but just in case, he wanted to make sure they were good. We're leaving water. So it gets to the point where it's like the pain is getting more intense. And I'm like, okay, yep, we need to go ahead and get in the car before we have this baby in the house. All right, so we leave, we get on the road, we head to the hospital. So the hospital's like 30 minutes away. And at this point, I'm pretty sure it's contractions. It's getting more intense, it's getting more frequent. I was like, yeah, definitely contractions. Never felt anything like this before. So we get to the hospital. We have to go through the ER department. They put me in a wheelchair. They wheel me up. So the hospital I went to, they have a like waiting. It's called like a waiting room for like patients, but it like you have a bed. They hook you up. So it's like the ER before they give you, like, they actually admit you and give you like your official room. They give you, like a temporary room. So we go in the temporary room and I explain everything that's going on. Dang, you drink that really fast. We're gonna give you some more. Were you sucking air that whole time? Mommy wasn't paying attention. All right, let me go ahead and get some more milk for my baby. I'm coming. Don't cry. I'm coming, baby. All right. I'm gonna burp him for a little bit. Yeah, hold on, baby. Okay. So, we go into a little area and tell them what's going on, and they basically tell me, I'm forced enemies dilated. They check my cervix, all of that. I was having contractions, but it wasn't as consistent as they wanted it to be. She was like, you have 2 hours to dilate past a 4 or we're gonna send you home. In my mind, I was like, you're not sending me anywhere. I'm definitely not going home. So if you do not let me have this baby, if you do not let me sit here until this baby is ready to come, I will be down in the emergency room laying on the floor until you give me a room. So little did they know I was not going home. Like I told my husband, like, I'm not going home. There's no way. My mom lived nearby, so he was like, we can just go to, your mom's house or whatever. I wasn't leaving that hospital. I promise you. If 2 hours would have went by and she would have told me, you had to go home, it would have been a problem. Anyway, so I didn't know this at the time that, I wasn't going to be sent home. So I'm like, oh gosh, like I have 2 hours. She's like, you have 1 hour of us monitoring you. And then she's like, you have 1 hour that we want you to walk, and then we're going to check you again. If you're not dilated past a 4, which you came in at, sending you home. So they monitor me, and I was like, my pain was like, it was getting intense. So she hooked me up to this monitor where I had to stay in the bed. No. I'm the type of person that even when I have period cramps, like I have to move. I have to do whatever position. If I need to stand on my head, I need to stand on my head. So apparently like I was moving too much and the machine was going off. So she gave me a wireless machine that like tracked the baby's heart and all of that. So they tracked it for an hour, and then she had me go walk. So I started walking around the hospital, on the floor, maternity ward. Promise you, I probably did like 2 laps. And in between, like while I was walking, I'd have to squat because I was having contractions. So I'm squatting in the hallway where the nurses are and all of that. And my husband's a great sport. I'm using him. I'm like, he said I was like an opera singer, but I was literally like, oh. So I wasn't screaming. I wasn't like, ah, but I was like, oh, you know. Anyways, that's what I was doing through my contractions. So, I did maybe like 2 little laps around, and honestly, it was like 5 minutes. And I was done. I was like, no, I need to sit on the floor, because when I have my cramps really bad, I like to sit on the floor. And I was like, I need to sit on the floor, lay on the floor. Like, I need to get in a position where I can tolerate these contractions, you know, because it was getting intense, right? So I tell the lady, I'm like, I'm going to go take a little break for a minute, and then I'm going to walk again. She's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. I had no intentions of going back in to walk. My husband's like, you ready to go walk? And I was like, babe, like, you didn't catch the vibe. Like, I'm not going to be walking anymore. Like, I'm donezo. Anyways, cramps got so bad. I ended up sitting on the floor. My gown fell off, so I'm butt naked on the floor. Oh, so embarrassing. Everyone's coming in and out to, you know, check certain things, monitor this, that, and the other. And I'm naked on the floor. So at this point, they're looking at me like, get off the floor. What the heck are you doing? Like, get in the bed. And not knowing, like, I need to do what I need to do to get through these contractions. I don't think they realized, like, how far dilated I was at that point. So they go and check me, and I was 6, right? So 6 centimeters dilated. She's like, lucky you, you're going to get a room. You're having a baby today. I was like, yes. Super nervous because before they actually admitted me, I had the sensation to throw up. I've never thrown up before. So yes, I'm a grown woman, 29. I've spit up a couple times, but I've never like thrown up. So in my mind, when you throw up, it's like, you know, I know this feeling of when you need to throw up. So in my mind, I'm like, you get that feeling and then and you're done. No, like throwing up, it's like so I'm like, not hyperventilating, but I'm going through, right? And I start crying. And I called the nurse. I panicked. And like I said to my husband, calling the nurse. He doesn't know why I'm calling the nurse. I call the nurse, and she comes in, and I'm bawling, and I'm like, this is before I threw up. I just had like the like feeling. And so like I start crying, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm scared. And she's basically like, you know, people give birth every day. Like, no, I'm scared of throwing up. Anyways, she was super nice. She held my hand for a while. Her and another nurse came, and then like I just started vomiting. And you know, once you do it once, you're used to it. So then they left. Then I got admitted into my room. And then they wanted to talk to me throughout all of these contractions. No, don't talk to me. Like, no. And I'm like signing everything. I don't even know. I'm like giving my baby away at this point. Like, sign this, sign this, sign this. And I'm like just signing any paper because I'm in pain. I like literally my eyes were just closed. Like I was just like, okay, yeah. She's like, I'm this person. This person's coming in. I'm this person. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, so then, hold on, I'm gonna burp him and then I'm gonna put him down. All right, sorry if I'm sweating. Like I get really hot when I'm holding him and I have on long sleeves. Okay, so yeah, people are coming in. I'm like squinty eyed, like, okay, I don't know, I don't care. I'd be like, oh, do you want him to get this shot? Okay. So now they start talking about epidural. They check me at this point. I'm 8 centimeters dilated. They start talking about epidural. They're like, do you want epidural? And I'm like, okay, there's two things going through my mind. One is I'm in a lot of pain and I need to be able to roll butt naked on the floor if that's what I want. And they basically, no, you should be in the bed. Okay. So then I was like, can I get a ball? No, you're past the ball. Okay. Then I'm like, well, can I go sit on the toilet? Because that's another thing. When I have cramps, TMI, just sitting in the toilet, like, I don't know if it's the position. Because that's why I was also squatting. It just feels good. So I was like, can I sit on the toilet? No, we're afraid you're going to give birth on the toilet. Okay. So at this point, I'm like, well, then there's nothing I can do. I can't just sit still on this bed, so in pain, and I'm like, I can't be naked on the floor or even robed on the floor. I can't sit on the toilet. I can't sit on the ball. So I'm like, okay, just give me the epidural at this point. So they were like, okay, we'll give you the epidural, but here's the thing, like I rock, like I was rocking and stuff, and she was like, I don't think you're gonna be able to get the epidural. You can't sit still during your contractions. And then I was like, okay, then don't give me the epidural. Like, okay, I don't want to get paralyzed. Anyway. So that way, I'm like, that's fine. So then another lady comes in. She's like, oh, we'll be able to help you get the epidural. I was like, okay, well, we can try. Literally, no. Then another lady came in. And she was like, you're too far dilated to get epidural. I was like, okay, that's fine. Then the anesthesiologist comes in. He's like, we can do it. And then the lady was like, okay, I'll help you. Literally held me down. Like I had to go like this, bend over, and she just held me so I wouldn't move. They inserted it the first time, and I guess, I don't know, wrong spot, whatever. So they had to do it again. Second time, did it, fine. I barely felt anything, to be honest. The contractions were way worse. I didn't feel anything. Then I got numb from the waist down. I was good. The family starts to come in, and now I'm like, this was a good idea that I got the epidural. That way I'm not rolling on the floor. I'm not, oh, you know what I mean? Like, we're good to go. So all my family started to come in. Husband's family started to come in. We're having good conversation. And for that reason, I'm very happy I got the epidural. I was able to like talk to them. We were able to laugh, joke, have conversation. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the epidural slowed down my my dilation. So at this point, I'm 8 centimeters dilated. I got 8 centimeters dilated from like 1:30 in the morning to about maybe 5. All right. So from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, I had dilated from a 4 to an 8. So at this point, it's maybe like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm at 8. They give me the epidural. Nothing's happening. 7 comes around, 8 comes around, 9 comes around, 10 comes around, still an 8. So they were like, okay, we're gonna give you Pitocin. Oh, my baby. He loves to hold on to his mommy. You're fine, baby. Hold on a second.